here in Midtown where
Right. But this is the big
some
story.
guy killed the CEO of United Healthcare.
Right. And
Finally,
but you
that's
think that, yeah, but there was no sympathy for this guy. None, because apparently all these stories are coming out. I mean, it really does seem like this guy has some beef. It's almost like a movie. Like United Healthcare apparently is a company that denies more claims than anybody, right? Now,
yeah.
I'm not saying
I think that's their slogan. We deny
but
more claims than anybody.
this is life and death situation stuff. So, not that I condone a murder of anybody, but let's just take it to the next level. Let's just say that this company denied a member of your family a life-saving operation, then they
Mhm.
died. So wouldn't you kind of say that's kind of a form of murder in a way?
Yes,
You
yeah,
know,
indirectly, yes.
especially if it was something that was not, that was a procedure that was
You
probably
definitely
not
were an accomplice.
right. So yeah, I think you're gonna find out that that's what the story is, and it's kind of good because you always see these other CEOs are starting to freak out, which is kind of
Yeah.
funny. Um, I know Anthem Health was going to do something really bad. Like the story came out the same day. Did you hear the thing with Anthem Health?
No. What
Uh,
did they do?
they were going to like cap the costs of anesthesia. Like,
Oh, right. You had
right,
to pay part of your anesthesia or
right.
something.
And the story just came out on the worst possible day. So they just backtracked on that because,
Oh,
yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, in certain ways, this is a horrible thing, but I mean, these insurance companies make so much money and,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
first of all, I don't. So
can
I
someone tell
thought
me
it was
just why
weird.
though? Why government healthcare is not better than private healthcare? Because I don't. This company make billions of profits in it. Why do healthcare companies shouldn't make profits? If the government was supplying insurance, they wouldn't have to make a profit. Just make right.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, we,
it is funny, right? When I heard that it was like a healthcare CEO, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know about that, but then like I just it seemed like an odd target to me of all the people that are out there. First of all, this guy was some sharpshooter. He did it with like one shot or something.
yeah,
How come it's always the sharpshooter guys when it's like that, just like a healthcare guy? You know what I mean?
right.
But then the other ones, it's like some 12-year-old kid who's never picked up a gun before. Um,
These guys don't have like Secret Service protection or anything, so they can get close. So
Even though I keep hearing reading articles where they're saying like everyone's surprised he didn't have security, which I didn't know that these healthcare CEOs needed security all the time, but I guess they do. I guess
mhm.
I wouldn't know what any of them looked like. There was
That's the thing. That's
also a
what they're
thing where
counting on, really.
but he was also like part of some DOJ investigation. So I heard there was speculation that it was maybe because of that, because he was going to maybe roll over on some people. But
Or yeah, insider trading situation, possibly. I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that it'd be something about, someone in his family getting denied health
yeah,
care. That would be, it'd be like a movie, really. That would be a movie.
yeah, they kind of made a movie about that. Denzel Washington, John Q. Do you
Yeah, I
remember
remember
that?
that. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that.
I didn't see it, but it was something like that. He takes one of them hostage or something.
They had a few funny tweets that people were putting up because no one was on this guy's side, even though he was murdered. Someone wrote, "Unfortunately, my condolences are out of network."
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
It
someone
is
else.
funny because right when you hear who it was, you're like, well,
Yeah.
there's two sides to every story. What are some
Yeah.
of the other
There
tweets?
was another one. I think. I'm just this one. I'm paraphrasing. I think I got thoughts and prayers are not covered by my plan. You know how we say thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it was kind of, I heard about it. The one thing I was surprised, it was such a big news story. And I was kind of like, I was like, why is it such a big news story? I mean, I understand he was the CEO of this, health insurance company, but why was it like top news of the day? Slow news day because he was just murdered in the middle of the street in
Yeah, that's
Manhattan.
a big story no matter what. But I mean, a
I guess
CEO,
that's true.
a
Yeah.
fucking huge story, and it also shows you how the press is trying to mainstream press is trying to make people feel, oh, this is horrible, but so many people got fucked over by like their health care and stuff. So I mean, Trump should actually
Yeah.
take this to heart a little bit because if he wants to start cutting healthcare and stuff, he may have to think twice. I mean, this is people's lives aren't aligned with this stuff. People don't understand that. This shit is very important.
Well,
People get
also,
very
I just
upset
feel like,
about it.
yeah, I also always hear people, in the media, they're always like, I don't know, people, it's usually people not who are never in New York City, where they're just like, because I saw some news article about this. I work in Midtown, and
Yeah.
they're like city on edge, and
Yeah.
I'm like sitting on edge. I work like 20 blocks from there. I was fine when I went outside. I didn't feel like anyone was on edge.
No, I
So
get
like
more. Go ahead, sir.
you you get more on edge when.
No, I get more on edge if I hear a story about like someone just getting slashed on the subway. It's just random person slashed. I'm not scared of a targeted assassination of a CEO of a healthcare company. I don't think that's going to happen to me anytime soon. The only
Yeah,
thing
that's
that
true.
the only time that would happen to me is if they mistook me for a CEO, which I don't think anyone's ever going to do.
Do you feel New York is more dangerous now, or where do you think it is? And because I feel like I just keep hearing reports of how it's so dangerous, but what do you feel when you're out there?
I think it's probably a little more. I think people get more paranoid, especially I always say because of that Citizen app and apps like it, where you go on the Citizen app, good God, you don't even want to leave your house, you know?
Yeah,
And they kind of lump in, it's if you ever go and it's pretty funny because it's like they'll lump in with like they'll be like dog barking on around the corner, like something
yeah,
like that. And then 2 blocks away, two people were murdered. I'm like, that shouldn't really be on the same app, you
yeah.
know?
They're like two people were just murdered in your living room. Like what?
Yeah. And the other
But
one
when
is
you
like fire hydrant broken.
uh, um yeah, well, so but like when you were growing up here, like what do you remember it being really dangerous? I mean, that's when it was really dangerous. Like what do you remember of it?
I just remember things like, oh, you can't go to certain places, certain nights.
Like
I
what
think,
about the train? Wasn't the train was like terrifying, I feel like when
yeah,
we were young.
you couldn't go on that at all. Um, I mean, you did a little bit, but
I did. It was scary. I
mm,
was always terrified when if I took the train at night, I was like scared. I was always
yeah,
like, oh, this is not gonna go well, probably. Or there was a lot of probability that something might happen. But I mean, I was younger, and I'm sure, but I was younger, but it was more dangerous. And I feel like I
yeah,
saw a lot of fucked up, crazy shit on the
yeah.
train.
I mean, now when I'm on, I mean, I don't take the subway as much as I used to, but when I'm on there, things I kind of do is like if there's someone acting weird near me, I just walk onto the next train. I don't even,
Yeah.
I just do you do that?
Yeah. I always do that, and I have noticed there are like a lot more. It seems like there's a lot of homeless people
Right.
on the train. Like almost, that thing happened to me. I think this morning where there was one train empty, one car empty, and but I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. But I looked in and there was just some dude, that thing where they've just made a home for themselves in the subway car, where like he's just laying down on the all the chairs or whatever the seats, and he has like his stuff there, like he just lives there. You
Yeah.
see that? It's so weird, like
Yeah. You don't want to fuck with that guy though.
when they just like live there, and then just things where they're walking through the train and they just start screaming. Or I saw this thing the other day, some guy was just standing there with like a sign, and he kind of, I kind of looked up and I made eye contact with him. I made that mistake, and then he was kind of looking at me, and he was just holding a sign that I guess said something about giving him money, but then I just didn't look at it. And then another homeless guy came on who was a lot more aggressive, who had like crutches,
Yeah.
So, and he was like he was like loud. He was like, hey, I lost my job. And I could tell the other guy was like, oh, fuck. So it was like one of those situations where there's like two homeless guys now vying for the same car. And the other guy clearly had like taken over the car from this other guy. It's kind of like, dude, you got to step it up. You can't just make a sign and just hold it up and hope you make eye contact. Like, do you ever give them money? Like,
No, I don't carry cash at all
I
for
don't
that
either.
for
Actually,
that
that's the thing.
reason.
I
Yeah.
never have. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of
for
homeless
that
guys.
reason, to not help people.
No, I just don't want to pull money out or yeah, second you pull money out of your pocket, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one thing if they're like doing something, like if they're trying to do a talent or something.
Right.
But when they're just like,
Yeah. Or you ever like
no
that thing
one
where
likes me.
where they stop you and you're like, I don't have any money. Go, this is not about money. And then you sit and you listen to their spiel for a minute and then they ask you for money. I'm like, you just fucking come on, man.
No, no, yeah, I fell for that one a few times where they're
Yeah.
like, they do the thing where it happened today. Actually, this woman was walking. She had like a kid. Yeah, because a lot of times they'll have a kid and they'll use the kid as part of the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Which I mean, but I feel really bad. But
That one I do, yeah.
and she was like, I was walking. She was kind of like making eye contact with me. She was like, "Sir, sir," and I was like, and I just like kind of shook my head and kept walking because that's kind of how they get you. I fall for that thing where they're like, "Sir, can I talk to you for a second while you're walking?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?" And then I always just keep walking, and I go, "What?" And they're like, "No, can I ask you a question?" I go, "Ask me the question while I'm walking." And they're like, "No, I need to like talk to you." I'm like, "No, I'm not like." I know how this works. I stop and then you start saying things and then it turns
Yeah.
into money.
And that's the thing that scares me now because like these people are slashing people sometimes, so you don't even want to piss them off. So I try to be very nice about it. I do not want to like you don't know who these people are.
You just have to not really say anything. You just kind of are like, no, and just,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
make it clear. I think you just have to make it clear, like, look, I know the deal. I'm not going to be a part of this.
Hmm.
And you have to keep moving. The other thing I remember, like that one thing people would do is they'd be like, this happened specifically in LA, actually, where the guy was like, sir, they have this whole like, fake story. Like, I'm starting a job in 3 days, and I just need until then, I need to eat, and I was like, oh, okay. And I think I might have given him something. And then, like a week later, I saw him just on the corner, like screaming. And I was like, so I guess that job fell through, huh? Like, what, what happened to the job? Like,
Yeah.
I thought you were starting a job. Now you're screaming on the corner. Like,
I feel like he didn't get the job because he
you
was probably a
didn't,
screamer. What do you think?
you didn't have a job, did you? I
Well,
have a
that
job. I'm starting at Goldman Sachs, but I need to buy pants for the next 3 days. I don't have underwear. So
you know that thing that you used to get this one a lot with like I just have to take a bus home. I need like $3.
I had
You're
that one. I'm stuck
yeah.
in the city and I have to get back to Long Island.
But you know what's so funny? They made fun of that in that movie Date Night. Remember that movie Date Night with Carell and Tina Fey,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
all these horrible things happen to them and they're out of money. So then they start going asking people for money for a bus ride home, and no one wants to. Everyone thinks they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part, but yeah, I do remember that. And then there was one where the guy was like, oh, this guy was like, I need money to go. It's always like they're stuck in the city or something, and they need money to get on the train, and they're always like, $1.50 short for going back to Long Island, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have any money, and then they were like, they start screaming out the town. They were like, Farmingdale, and I'm like, I don't have any money, no matter where you're going. Like, it does. This isn't a matter of like a town.
Right.
Like the obstacle wasn't like you needed to have a town ready for me to know. I was like, I still don't have money if you're going to Farmingdale. Even if you're going across the street, I don't have money for that. I don't know. Maybe I have a fate. Yeah, I feel like I get approached a lot. Maybe I look like an easy target or something, or maybe they just do it to everybody. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
Um, so that's on my home. Was there something else you want to talk about? Was that did we cover that?
No, I was just kind of I was trying to see
I'm
it.
looking up.
I'm trying to find some funny tweets about that guy because everyone was kind of going all in on him. I haven't seen anything that funny.
So wait, so have they caught the guy? I know they have pictures everywhere, but they're like, we can't catch. It's so weird how the police can't catch anyone anymore, even though they have cameras everywhere, and they'll be like, we know his name and where he lives and everyone he knows and where he
Yeah.
went to high school. We have no idea. We still haven't caught him.
I know. I mean, he's a white dude. You
You
know
guys
that.
check Facebook? You guys tried Facebook yet? I just feel like maybe look at his pictures where he
Yeah.
is. He's probably
It,
telling you exactly.
there's probably a Facebook group, murdering CEOs of health company group or something like that.
Do you remember when like 2 or 3 years ago that guy shot the people on the train and then they couldn't catch him, and then he called the police and was like, which I don't understand. I don't know why they call the police after they try to kill people, whatever.
Mhm.
And then he's like, "I'll be." It was down in the East Village. Like, I'll be at McDonald's.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
At like three. He's like giving them like a time and place, like on the voicemail, and like, and then they went there and they're like, he's not here. Like they're almost like, where is he? And then someone there, like a guy who worked at a bodega right near there was like, he's right there. Like for some reason that guy knew who he was. He was like, he's right there, like across the street. And then they caught him. And then I just thought it was funny that they had like a big press conference. They kind of were like cocky about it. The police chief was like, don't worry, everybody, we got him. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, after he called you, like,
Sherlock Holmes on the case there, huh? I mean,
but I don't
well,
understand, how do they, with all this technology, why can't they get anyone anymore?
I think they're gonna get. I mean, apparently this guy rode a city bike. That's bad because that's you put your credit card in. So I think they're gonna
Yeah,
get him. They probably have his name already. I mean, the city bike thing is probably the stupidest thing you could possibly do, unless you did it on someone else's name.
I just feel like nowadays anything there's no way there's not going to be any trace of you for just any,
Yeah,
everything is like a card or whatever. Or so yeah, I don't know. I guess they'll get him, but I keep
yeah, they'll
seeing
probably
it
have him
as
by
like the top.
tomorrow. Uh,
So
and I
yeah.
don't care what his reasoning is for killing. It could have been sometime, might be the insider trade. Who knows? He's got to lie no matter what and say it's damn health insurance companies because he'll be a fucking hero. They might have a hard time convicting this guy a jerk, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It kind of, this reminds me of something like how in certain climates or wherever the world is, like people will sympathize with the person doing the crime. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if I think I've talked about this on here a couple of times. So where I live, it's this like complex neighborhood thing, and
Oh,
they
you talk
have
about
squirrels.
yeah,
What?
Bernie Getz. You,
So I walked
uh,
outside yesterday to go to work, and like literally Bernhard Getz is
was
standing right in front of
still
my
there.
building, just standing right there where I walked out, and I was like, "Oh, there's Bernhard." And for anyone who doesn't know, Bernhard Getz was this guy in the 80s when we were talking about how the subway in the city was just
Mhm.
fucking like life threatening, the most dangerous place in the world. These four like black teenagers, I guess, were kind of harassing him and maybe
Mhm.
trying to rob him, and he shot them.
Right.
And he became kind of like a hero in the city. Everyone was like on his side because the city was so dangerous and people were
Mhm.
sick of being terrorized. So I think it was like, and it wasn't just white people, it was like everyone was
Yeah.
on his side. And I always like want to say something, but I just don't know what to say. Like,
Well,
hey man, like good big fan of when you shot those guys.